everyone, welcome to my channel. Trust you are doing great. In this channel I upload tutorial videos on fashion. All my videos are beginner friendly. Thank you for stopping by. So in today's video we are going to be learning how to draft a basic bodice with that, and I'm also going to be laying emphasis on the front part and the back part. I will lay emphasis on the dart, the neckline, and the armhole. So if this is what you are interested in watching, please stay tuned and watch this video to the end. So the first thing that I'm going to be doing right now is to measure my border line, to rule my border line, which will also serve as the shoulder line. Next, I'm going to measure my shoulder measurement divided by 2 plus half an inch sewing allowance. So the next thing I'm going to be doing right now is to measure my shoulder slant, which is 1 inch. That's what I just measured right there, and I'm going to pick my ruler and slant it towards the shoulder side. So immediately after that, I'm going to put my tape rule on my shoulder, bring it down and measure my bust point. My bust point is 10.5 inches. That's what I'm going to measure. I'll put my tape rule over there and put a dot there. The next thing after measuring my bust point is to measure my under bust. My under bust is 13.5 inch. I will put my dot also at that place. Then I'll measure my waistline, or let's say my half length. The half length is 17 inches. I'm also going to put a dot at that place. Then I pick my ruler and rule a straight line across those 3 dots, as you can see in the video. The next thing that I'm going to be doing right now is to get my armhole length, and for this you can do it in either 2 forms. The first one is, as you can see in the video, your bust measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches. For example, if your bust is 36 divided by 6 plus 1.5, that gives us 6 plus 1.5, that's 7.5 inches. Or you can make it 8 inches if you want to add allowance or anything for the joining. That's the first method. The second method is just to come up from your bust point by 2 inches or 1.5 inches. So you can use either the both method. If you use the both method, you will still arrive at the same place. So that's what I'm basically going to be doing. So I will use the 2 methods. The difference is not really much. It can't be more than ½ inch. So I'm going to go up from my bust point by 2 inches. Then I'll put a point there. And I'm also going to measure 8 inches from that my shoulder slant down and put a point there. You will see that we arrived at very almost the same answer. So you can use either of the 2 methods. So I'm going to go from my shoulder slant and measure that 8 inches downward. Put a mark there, take my ruler, draw a line across it, and I'll label it as my chest line. So after doing that, after drawing down my straight line across it, I'm going to measure my straight line, because this is the front. The front armhole is always different from the back, in as much as your sleeve too is always different. You know, we have to come in. So I'm measuring that length and divided it by 2. Mark the middle point. Then at that middle point, I'm going to come in by ½ an inch. Are we together? So I'm going to come in by ½ an inch. I'll take my tape rule, divide my bust into 4 without any allowance. I will mark it under my chest line, put a dot there. So that shoulder slant, the one I came in by ½ an inch, and at that my bust line measurement, I'm going to join everything together with the use of my curved rule. If you don't want to use a calculator, you can be using your tape rule to divide your measurement into 2 or into 4, just as you can see. So that's what I'm basically doing right now. Are we together? So the next thing that I'm going to be doing now that we have gotten our armhole measurements is just to start taking my measurements. Your bust measurement divided by 4. Me, I used to like to add a lot of allowances. So it's better for a cloth to be enough than for it to have shortage. So I just add 2.5 inch allowance to my bust measurement. You are going to measure that bust measurement on your chest line and on your bust points. Then you add your allowance to it. Then you divide your waist into 4. Put your 1 inch dart intake, and at times I had 3 inches allowance or 2 inches allowance. Then I just connected a straight line across it. The next thing that I'm going to be doing right now is to take my dart intake. I'm going to measure my nipple to nipple. For example, if your nipple to nipple measurement is 8, divide that 8 by 2, which is 4. Add 1/2 inch sewing allowance to it. So I'm going to start marking 4.5, as you can see, from my under bust line, my waistline, and I'm going to come down by 1.5 inches from my bust point, or 2 inches from my bust point. I'm going to measure that for 4.5, then rule a straight line across it, as you can see in this video. After that, I'm going to take 1/2 inch on both sides, another 1/2 inch on the other side to make it that our 1 inch. Then I will take my ruler and slant it up to meet that other place. Can you see? Just as seen in the video. Just keep on watching, guys. I think that's basically all for the front part. The other thing we need to do right now is to take our neck measurements. I'm going to just be using 3 inches by 3 inches for the neck. The width is 3 inches. The depth is 3 inches. You can do it this way. Measure your 3 inches width. Measure your 3 inches depth. Come down again and measure 3 inches. Do it like a form of 4 corner if you are a beginner. Then after that, you look for a way to curve it, just the way we normally curve our arm hole. So just keep watching, guys. Keep watching. And if you like, you may not do yours like a 4 corner. It is optional if you know how to curve. But some people used to have issues with drafting a round neck. It might not really come out nice. So that's why we use this 4 corner method. Can you see the way I'm just placing my curved rule, looking for the right angle to place it? So that's basically all for the front part. The next thing that I'm going to be doing right now is to cut out my basic bodies. I'm going to trace them out with a pair of scissors. Can you see how it came out nice? So that is basically all. Now we move to the back pattern. I have already drafted my lines, my bust point, my waistline, my chest line, and my under bust on the back. So the next thing that I'm going to be doing right now is to measure my zipper allowance. That's what I'm doing. I only placed a dot at that place, 1.5 inches from the beginning to the end, and I'm just using my ruler to rule a straight line across it. Then I'm just going to place my front piece on the back piece. You know, everything is going to be the same apart from the armhole and the zipper allowance and the neck. So I'm trying to place my front piece on the back piece to trace every other thing out. So after that, I'll move to my armhole. You know, the front armhole, we went midway and we came in by 1/2 inch, but the back armhole is not like that. You will just go in straight. Now from the zipper allowance under, you can just come in by 1/2 inch. This is to prevent bulginess when we fix our zip. Come in by 1/2 inch and just slant it upward, just like you can see me doing right now, and trim that place out, and trim it out. Then the next thing again is that the neck, just trace the neck. Apart from the zipper allowance, trace the neck with the front neck, I mean the width, and come down by 1.5 inch. That is basically all for the back neck. The dart for the back will also be the same, I mean the width. 4.5 inch that we use for the front. That's what I'm marking right now. I'm just going to put a straight line there. So that is what I'm doing right now. The 4.5 inch, I'm going to use a ruler to make it straight. I'm going to come up from the bust line by 1/2 inch if you like. Some people make their dart to stop at the chest line. They make it to stop at the chest line for the back. Then I'm going to just come in by 1/2 inch and rule out my dart. And that's basically all for the back piece. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video, and I hope you have learned 1 or 2 things in this video. I normally upload video every week. Please make sure you subscribe. I normally upload new and trendy styles, and all my videos are beginner friendly. If you feel you have learned 1 or 2 things from this video, please kindly subscribe to my channel and join the community. Yes, we have a community where we talk about fashion. Every Saturday I come on live on YouTube where we talk about fashion, anything fashion. Please subscribe and join the community. See you in my next video. Bye. Remember to subscribe.